to channelize their energy, their time. So, first of all, we have to understand what is the empowerment and why we don't have so much empowerment as a Bahujan community or as scheduled caste or scheduled tribe, whatever you can say. But we belong to poor sections, weaker sections, and Bahujan community, and we lack knowledge and information. That is why we don't have empowerment. We lack resources also. We lack time management skills. We lack other skills and other capabilities which are available in the personality and in the conduct of the dominant groups. We lack support network also. So we have yet to learn the payback to society tactics, and we lack participation in community work also, and that is why we suffer and we don't have adequate representation. So why we need empowerment? Because after 70 or 80 years of independence, even now, every day 126 cases of SC/ST Act are registered every day in India. And thousands remain unnoticed, unrecorded, and people keep mum because they are afraid of local reaction, local revenge. And so many cases of honor killings are there, so many gang rapes are there. And in every village, we see that a certain caste, because that is very close to the seat of power in some states, especially the government, they feel that there will be nothing if they harass the scheduled caste people, because the scheduled caste they don't have their good advocates, they don't have their police, they don't have their ministers, they don't have their own real and loyal and accessible representatives in power gallery. That is, so many people think that nowadays atrocities are not there, but their mode has changed. Their form has changed a lot. Earlier, they torched the houses, but even now they torch the houses in rural areas. But in urban areas, their tactics have changed. In urban areas, we see with government officers and with the other well-off people that their transfer policy, their posting policy, their promotion policy, that is unfavorable with scheduled caste people, and they change their modes every day, but they don't want to adjust our people at any cost. Even when they marry our people, they are ready to intermarry, they are ready to shower mercy upon us, they are ready for everything, they are ready to give death also, but they are not ready to share their power with us. And every day we see that 3 women are raped and 48 SCs are assaulted every day. So we see that we need empowerment through the new knowledge, new requirements also. And one thing which haunts our weakness, that is the caste. Caste, there is the real name of the religion is caste. Some people dub it as Sanatan religion or Hindu religion, or any other name can be dubbed there. But the real thing, which is the core part, that is caste. And caste has crippled so many reform movements in India. Caste has crippled Buddhism. Buddhism was divided into so many sects, up to 18 sects were there. And caste crippled Jainism also. Jainism had to surrender before their caste of Hindus. And again, the other movements like Bhaktism also surrendered. It was also divided. Thereafter, the religions which came from abroad, even Islam was divided into so many castes and classes also. And Christianity also suffered from the same syndrome of caste in local Indians. They also begin to ask about the castes. And even the international movements like communism or feminist movements, they also suffered. Labor movements also, because any reform movement could not be successful because of the presence of caste, because the people who suffer enjoy favorable discrimination on the basis of their caste. Some people are gainer and some people are loser. That is why the gainers are not ready at any cost to surrender their prerogatives and privileges, because they think always that if we give up our caste prerogatives, these things which are democratic in their conduct, but they will not be so beneficial for our future. That is why they love caste. And even then, the sufferers of the caste, scheduled caste or backward classes, they also feel proud of caste, because they don't know about that. The caste it cannot be used for any constructive activity. If you are loser, if you don't have any dominant caste status, that is why I founded with a few friends, Mr. Prem Prakash IPS. He is very senior to me, and just like my elder brother. Both of us founded Bahujan Sashaktikarana Sangh and devised a good ideology which can be adjusted by government officers and others also who want to change, who want to become agents of change and want to lead and want to guide the people who are oppressed. So we started from payback to family concept. This payback to family concept means that everybody who is working should send 2.5% to his father's account, 2.5% to his mother's account, and 15% at least to his spouse account. We devised this concept of payback to family to strengthen the family system, because some people are there who thought only about their nuclear families, and the other family members also suffered from poverty and lack of resources. So this payback to family concept was very much liked by people, and BSS became very popular for this. Our second thing was payback to atrocity victims. What we do in this concept, we try to know about the whereabouts of the victims of atrocities, and we select one or two cases every week, and we get it verified through our local members, local representatives of BSS. We find some lawyer or some doctor or engineer, because so many people are very close nowadays due to broadcast lists and social media, especially WhatsApp group and Facebook. People respond very well when they think that some people are working for victims of atrocities. So we verify their account number of victims, and thereafter we appeal. We appeal to direct help to the victims' account. We don't collect donations to help them, and it has become very, very successful campaign. And almost every major problem, every major atrocity victim was helped in this regard, and it became very popular thing. And people got training from BSS, and they also began to help in their own areas. So we are very successful in this movement. And certainly this movement is inspired by Dr. Babasaheb Bhimrao Ambedkar, because he always thought of payback to society and filtration of our conduct, our thought, our behavior. So that is why we think always as a true Ambedkarite that we should do something daily. Whatever challenge is there before our society, that is also a challenge for us also. So we want to do something every day. We have used social media in a very proper manner, and we guide our members that you should not post vulgar posts, political posts, which may be challenged legally. So we train them online and offline also, wherever we go and whenever we organize our camps, that social media is a very good platform, but it may send you jail also. Even online crimes are there, IT Act is there, and we have been very successful in raising connectivity also. We guide people that if you know 10 or 15 lawyers in your local vicinity, if you know some police pensioners or police officers, if you know some judges or retired judges, and if you know some doctors also, you feel empowered. And this empowerment and connectivity is mutual. whenever we shake hand with one another, we empower one another. So this is very good. This has become very successful in raising connectivity issues. And especially we also guide about social programs. Almost 50 points we have given to our people, that how to take permission of the government, how to install statues, how to work in park also. And even if we have very minor space, we can organize programs, and how to organize them, and how to collect people. Everything we have written through articles and columns also. So they like it, and they have done it very successfully. So the training of social programs and social activities has become very helpful. Whenever we organize cadre camps, we try to tell the people about SC/ST Act, about RTI, Right to Information Act, and other almost 36 laws are there which empower our people, including Constitution of India, fundamental rights, the Directive Principles of State Policy, and IT Act also, because and the value of Panchsheel also, because we have surveyed that the families which believed in Panchsheel, they became very successful, and certainly it has become very useful. And the people and the families which did not believe in Panchsheel, they suffered a lot, and they could not rise to that extent. And next, our program is of Jati Bandi campaign also. We discourage people and we convince people that they should not write the caste-based surnames, caste-based names also. And we have given so many memoranda to the government also, that the government should also enact Annihilation of Caste Act also, to ban caste, accept the claims of reservation. If claims are there, certainly they must be entertained. But if claims are not there, nobody should be allowed to write or spread the name of his subcaste or his caste, because they spread discrimination. Whenever any inquiry is set up, whenever any investigation is set up, and if anybody knows that the inquiry officer is of my own caste, certainly some discrimination takes place. So we want to stop it. And if it is stopped, certainly justice will prevail. Again, we also use national days and international days for organizing our cadre camps, our other programs also. If Human Rights Day is there, if Doctors Day is there, if the differently abled day is there, we find opportunities in those national days and international days to organize those days in such a manner as to do our missionary work. Whatever we want to reform society, to reconstruct society, our Ambedkarite thought, our Buddhist thought, we deliver our speeches according to that program. And certainly the basis of and the theme of UN or WHO or UNICEF, we also use that. Because whenever I study the programs of UNO and UNICEF, I find that most of the things are inspired by Lord Buddha's thoughts. So certainly they are very useful. Again, we feel that the interview has become a very modern instrument of divide and rule and discrimination in government services, not only in government services, but in private services also. And we want to interview less exams of recruitment in government as well as in private sector also. And I started this movement almost 20 years back, and we are successful in doing this, that so many states have banned this interview, and they have started interview-less exams in state civil services, state police services also. And throughout India, the government, the central government also has stopped the interviews in C and D departments also, especially C and D classes, for in all departments also. That is very good sign of just recruitment. So we are very successful in interview-less exams. This is very good. Again, we organize a financial literacy camp. Recently, last year, I joined financial literacy seminar in University of London also, so many points I raised there. They are certainly very good, because even the Nobel laureate Abhijit Banerjee and his wife, they also talked about these points, that financial literacy should be raised, it must be enhanced. And I find that the Lord Buddha said about 25% savings uh, every month, 25% or one fourth of the income should be saved. And certainly, even during pandemic times, those people were very successful in doing their work, in maintaining their families and duties, who saved a lot, or up to 25%. Certainly, if we save 25%, we can cope up with the financial emergencies also. And Panchsheel values, they also help. And if we ban caste, certainly a lot of empowerment is in India is because of caste hierarchy. So it must be stopped. So financial literacy camp also are being organized. And again, we also organize political literacy camps. How to exercise the right to vote, and how to stop booth capturing, silent booth capturing. These are very much against the democratic attitude of the people. If we are not political literate, certainly whatever party, whatever candidate we want, that is other thing. But academically, we can guide people that they must be very cautious about their political rights also, right to vote, because the Constitution of India has given Article 326, and that is the right to vote to every citizen of India, and which must be respected. And political awareness must be there. Whatever challenge is there in political arena, our citizens, especially of weaker section, they should know about this. One thing is very different, that is the power of manifesto. Ghoshna Patra ki Shakti. Power of manifesto is not known by the general commoners, by the commoners of India, and people befool them by compromising or by committing many unlawful things. And if we come to know about the power of manifesto, certainly we will go through the manifesto of every candidate of every party, and thereafter we will compare which is the best. And we try to convince the people that you must not lay on liberties at the hands of heroes, as Dr. Ambedkar said, that we should choose our candidate according to our choice, according to his manifesto, what he wants to do, what change he is going to introduce in our political future. So if we are aware of manifesto rights, because internationally, whether it is Sweden or India, after every election, the manifestos are being exercised, are being implemented by the respective parties in government, parties in power. So certainly the commoners also should think about knowing the manifesto, so that the leaders might not befool our people. Again, the policy of tickets also, that is also a very important issue, that certain parties are there which sell their tickets to the property dealers, and thereafter democracy is hijacked, and social and economic democracy, as well as the constitutional values, they are hijacked, and we are befooled. Our commoners, who are common voters, they are also befooled. We are also doing a lot of work regarding creamy layer. Creamy layer concept was devised to do a lot, for it was a modern instrument of divide and rule. Because when the Bahujan unity came into appearance, the people who were Manuvadi, they began to think how to disturb this Bahujan unity. They devised two things. First was creamy layer that divided the OBC, and it was also advised to apply in SCs. Recently, so many judges they have interviewed regarding the application of creamy layer to SC also, and inclusion of certain castes is also being discussed, is being debated also. So certainly that is a great risk, and that's a great hazard. Anytime we can face that situation, that reservation is in peril. So we did not, because we did not go against creamy layer concept, and we could not convince the people of OBC that they should start campaigning against creamy layer concept, but they did not start. And what happened? That creamy layer concept is going to be introduced in cases of SC/ST also. This creamy layer is very much against the unity of Bahujans, because the people who are separated from their own communities or their own classes, certainly they are told that you have become Kshatriyas. But in practice, even the officers are harassed, even the income taxpayers are harassed, and the people who are leaders, because the leaders will be also separated from reservation, they will be taken away from reservation policy. Certainly their sympathy and empathy will also be curtailed with other people. So we want to do away with this creamy layer concept, not only with the OBC, but it should not be in existence for any class. And EBC also, that is also a financial basis. So we also started campaigning that EBC is against the constitution. And we also want to increase the number of police, number of judges, and number of teachers. Certainly, according to American data, America has 7 times greater number of teachers as compared to India, and China has 13 times greater number of judges as compared to India. India has only 16,000 judges, and police also, the number of police personnel is also very less according to international average. And if we don't have police, judges, and teachers, certainly law and order administration suffers a lot. So, and who is the victim? If law and order is not there, if police are not in adequate number, judges are not adequate in number, and teachers are not there, who is illiterate? Because if teachers are not there, illiteracy is in weaker sections, in the poor, and if judges are not there, injustices with the people who are poor and weaker sections, especially SC/ST. If police is not there, certainly the cases of SC/ST harassment, the investigation process becomes very delayed. So certainly we want to increase the number of police, judges, and teachers. So to some extent we are successful in the states, especially in center also it is being discussed. Again, we want to make Buddhviharas power centers, because in Buddhviharas a lot of places there, and I've written to most of the Buddhviharas that in a corner they should also construct hostels for students also, because almost 300 Buddhviharas there in Delhi, and if in every Buddhvihar 2 or 3 rooms are constructed for students, so many students who throng from the entire country, and they cannot afford to live in Delhi in PG. But if Buddhviharas become harbor of those students and provide hostel facilities on cheapest level, certainly it will be a very very good indication of help of payback to society. And Buddhviharas may be very good power centers for organizing cadre camps, organizing health camps, organizing legal literacy camps. तो certainly हमारे जो बुद्ध विहार हैं इनको हम बहुत अच्छा बना सकते हैं. Again, we are appealing our doctors that every doctor should organize at least one health camp or attend some health camp or as a community service. Certainly it will be a good gesture of payback to society on their behalf, and the health issues will be very well entertained of weaker sections. 2 lawyers also we have devised, 1 lawyer and 1 camp every month. They can organize very good legal camps. They can tell about SC/ST Act. In India, Supreme Court has established 1 legal aid clinic in every village, but in so many villages they are not organized. Certainly, if we make aware our lawyers and our advocates and retired judges, they can do very well in organizing legal literacy camps, whether the place is Gram Panchayat or any other place. or in any village. So many places are there, but that can be very good for awareness. And pensioners are also there. They can be also very useful for organizing payback to society camps. And we are also doing a lot of work for pre-marriage counseling centers and pre-parenting counseling centers, because in marital relations, so many disputes are there, which cannot be treated by very well by courts and police. But if we organize pre-marriage counseling centers, certainly 30% rate increases of successful marriages. In the same way, pre-parenting counseling centers, they are also very useful, because people who intermarry, they have no guidance. Whatever guidance they get, they are from mothers or mother-in-laws. So that is very poor quality education and training for brides and bridegrooms. And modern training, modern challenges, modern diseases, they require modern training, and pre-parenting counseling may be very well. And certainly, schools can also be a good agent of change. But we are not using schools for personality development also. They must be used for personality development also. One, by the personality disorders are not studied in schools. So we have convinced so many schools and colleges to provide to get ADHD tests in their schools, because whenever as a police officer I find the data regarding ADHD syndrome, attention deficit hyperactivity syndrome, that the most of the criminals who were in jails, they suffered from attention deficit hyperactivity syndrome. So if we identify those sufferers, those victims, we can treat them at early stage, and a lot of criminals from society will be done away with. And certainly through their treatment, we will be able to organize a better society. And we see that the youth resentment is also there. Some people want to take revenge. So we convince them that don't take revenge, don't take law in your hands, and try to take Constitution of India in your hands. And lawful action must be taken always, because whenever you do anything like stone pelting, like any manhandling, or wreaking vengeance upon anybody, you are trapped. You go to jail, and you lose so many rights, so many fundamental rights. And you cannot have passport, you cannot have visa, and certainly you cannot get government jobs, you cannot get license for arms. So these are also empowerment tools. When we get visa, this is empowerment. When we get arms license, we are empowered. When we travel abroad, it is our empowerment. So all these things are associated with the empowerments. For this purpose, I wrote a book, that is Kranti Shastra. Can you see this book? Kranti Shastra.
Ashok ji, is this available on Amazon if you want to buy?
Okay, I will try to get it registered on Amazon also. And
I
I
think
will
that is
send you
very common
a
place, you know,
PDF
that's where
of
most of the
this.
people buy. Yeah.
Yes. So I will try, we'll discuss later on. And it is almost 50 pages book. And we have written about how to become agent of change every day, and how to do revolution, silent revolution. Because without silent revolution, we cannot be successful, even if we get political power or social power or power of posts. If we are not agents of change, if we are not ready for maintaining social and economic democracy, certainly we cannot be successful, because we formed government also, but that was temporary, and that benefited the dominant caste again. And that is why BSS guides people to change their names, to change their surnames, to change their icons, to change their traditions, festivals, rituals, rites, literature, habits, pronunciation, language, arts, slogans, idioms, phrases, symbols, fairs, games, culture, professions. Because the caste has steeped so much into their DNA that not only the dominant caste, but even the sufferers, they also spread casteism. एक जो स्वच्छकार समाज का आदमी है, वो गाली देता है अपने बच्चे को, कहाँ चमार जैसा मुंह लेकर आता है। वही जो चमार फैमिली का आदमी है, वो गाली देता है अपने बच्चे को when स्वच्छकार समाज is not there, but in isolation also he tells his children, तुमने कैसा अपना भंगी कैसा मुंह बना रखा है। These idioms, these phrases, they strengthen the caste. So we have to understand it. And because a lot of responsibility is there on our shoulders, we have to save democracy, we have to save constitution, we have to save our representation also, because every day courts are deadly against the reservation system. And we cannot be successful in aggressive revolution. Our mission is peaceful, which remained always successful, whether it was Buddhist revolution by Lord Buddha, or the revolting spirit spread by Ravidas, spread by Kabir ji, and spread by educational movement of Savitribai Phule and Jyotiba Phule and Dr. B R Ambedkar, and even the movement of Kanchiram ji. It was very peaceful movement, and they were successful. People are very much confused that sometimes our youth think that अब तो कुछ करना पड़ेगा, अब हम भी नहीं बैठेंगे और हाथ पे हाथ नहीं बढ़ाएंगे, हम we will seek revenge. उसमें होता क्या है कि कई लोगों ने so many people have formed armies in the name of their caste, Chamar Sena, Pasi Sena. So this is not the way to be successful, because that way will damage you. That will not. You may get some popularity by doing that challenging work, but main challenge is by changing permanently our people. And certainly silent revolution can do a lot. And if you are unable to do silent revolution, certainly you cannot revolt for permanent changes. So academic change and silent revolution, they are very important, and we should do that. We can do that wherever we are, because we are not doing any illegal or immoral work. We are working for peace, because we have belief in Lord Buddha. We work with law, with lawful institutions, because we believe in Dr. B R Ambedkar. We want to change by educating and training, because we are disciples of Jyotiba Phule and Savitribai Phule, and certainly we will be successful. And it's a good interaction, I can say. And if any question is there, Ram Kumar ji, I would like to welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Ashok ji. Definitely, there are questions there, and we are really thankful of you for sharing the work ideas, and what are the ground based realities, difficulties, and how you are tackling. So first, you will take the questions that are on the chat box. The first question is about the financial saving and status. This is very, very important. Like I remember one of the elder person in my neighborhood used to say that our community first generation saves the money, earn the money, does hard work, and next generation is ready to spoil it. I don't know how true is that, but I think plays some role. So the question about the financial thing is first question. Harjinder Kumar ji asked, besides promoting savings, what other financial teaching points do you teach to the community? Yeah, I can repeat the question. So
Very good,
besides
Ajay Singh ji.
promoting the saving, what
Hmm.
other financial teaching points you want to teach to the community?
One thing. See, we the people of the weaker sections, we have traditions that only husband will earn. Okay, and this tradition decreases our ability and our financial empowerment. If both work, if both begin to work and they are allowed to work, because our ladies who start working, they are empowered also, and they become asset to the family, and our savings will rise. So husband and wife both should earn. Again, insurance should be there, health insurance should be there, because a lot of money is there. Uh, Nobel laureate Abhijit Banerjee and his wife Esther Duflo told about even that the use of bed net saved a lot of money in families from malarial diseases in so many countries. About 800 million lives were saved. So not only bed net, but the use of mask, use of gadgets. Especially we see that our scavengers, one scavenger dies every fifth day in India. So this kind of using gadget, using scientific equipments, and husband and wife earning both, and use of panchil also. I see in my village also when I surveyed that only those families rose which believed in panchil, and the people who did not believe in panchil, they wasted their money, a lot of money, in drinking habits, or in arrogance, or in their anger, or other things. And if they begin to believe in panchil, certainly they have lot of time, they have lot of money, they have lot of patience. So certainly this is panchil is very good for financial literacy. And again the scientific gadgets also, because people again the use of dark glasses and use of hat, because in India, especially North India, I see that even during summer period, people of rural areas don't use dark glasses. Our farmers don't use dark glasses and hats, and they suffer from diseases, from eye diseases, from mental diseases. And if they start using dark glasses and hats, certainly a lot of saving, a lot of health problems, they do not rise. Or almost 30 or 50 points I have. Again, I want to tell you people that financial literacy is a separate lecture. I spoke in University of London last year, and almost 50 points I collected. They were of very, they did not use any money. उनके लिए बहुत ज्यादा पैसे की जरूरत नहीं थी. Even within 200 or 300 rupees, we can get bed nets also. We can use dark glasses. We can use solar heads also. So almost 50 things are there by which we can save our energy, we can save our money, and we can save our resources also, and time management skills also. They don't have any money responsibility. So many points are there. I will talk later on also. So any next question?
Yeah, thank you, Ashokji. So there's another question from Rajesh Chandra. He wants to know, where is your NGO active, in which states of India?
Uh, Especially BSS is an ideology. We interact with almost all Ambedkarite people. Wherever we go, or wherever our members, or especially officers, go, we spread this ideology. Whether it is my own village, or the districts of Uttar Pradesh. Especially we work in Uttar Pradesh because it is directly closer to me, and others in metropolis also, in Mumbai, in Assam also we are active. And we tell this ideology to the people. We give them literature, and they start in their NGOs. We do not impose our NGO on others. We don't recruit them in our NGO, because we want to help directly. We provide them ideology, but that by this way you can help atrocity victims. By this you can do this. By this technique you can do this. We devise ways and means, and we have spread this ideology. Almost most of the active people, they know about BSS, and atrocity victims are being benefited a lot.
So Ashokji, there's another question from Jay. Can we have support for neurodiverse individuals from Dalits and tribal communities?
Neurodiverse
Neurodiverse.
Indians.
Mhm.
Certainly, for this question, I will have to be ready, especially.
So, meantime, there's another question from Ritika. Jai Bhim, everyone. Sir, thank you for such an empowering session. Honestly, it was very insightful, and each and every pointer is an essential guide to young Ambedkar, right? And my question is, what is your advice or guidance that you would like to give young Dalit UPSC aspirants and what they got to experience in service? It's really from your career, sir.
That's very good question. I love to reply this. Ritika ji, whenever we go through history books, I was very much inspired by Emperor Ashok, and I joined police department because police provides immediate relief to the people. And whenever we join administration, after joining administration, we can do a lot of paying back to society. And three words I always keep in my mind. First is restraint of speech, as preached by Emperor Ashok. Restraint of speech, Vak Sanyam in Hindi. And second is assembly. Try to get the feedback of other people also. And third is self-examination. And the inscriptions of Emperor Ashok, they are very useful for administrative work also. And whenever we discuss about Dr. Ambedkar's thoughts, certainly for administrative work and paying back to society as an officer or as an administrator or as a leader, we get a lot of inspiration for doing, for providing relief to the people. Whenever I sit in my office, behind my chair, the inscriptions of Ashoka, they appear always there about Dr. Ambedkar's not only photo, but his thoughts also. They figure there. So all our Bahujan icons, they believe in payback to society. They believe in helping the poor always. And certainly a lot of inspiration is there, because any aggrieved people who are victims, when they get the help of officers, democracy becomes successful. And Mr. Rahul Pawar, he advised me, he expected that we should have another session for preparation of civil services also, because that requires a lot of time also, because in a few minutes we cannot see. But in India, for UPSC aspirants, certainly Delhi is a hub of this kind of preparation. My daughter is IRS officer and my son-in-law is also IAS officer. And we believe that the people who have joined these services, these are the best services for paying back to society. And we should do this very patiently. Ritika ji, you can talk to me also. If any participant wants to talk to me, I think I should share my number also. That is 9454406789. That is my number. And Rahul Pawarji or Ram Pawarji, we are in the same group of AIC. We can share also. So these questions are very good. And I don't think that I have replied in a proper manner, but certainly we will interact in other sessions also.
Yeah, sir, there are few more questions. The one question I also want to ask that, these days people are so much under the influence of the social media, and also I would say the mental pressure that we don't have our leaders in the power now. Is all going against us kind of environment there. And especially for the people who work in the village, in the fields of the landlords or in the slums or small towns, in the the shop owners. Let us say some tragedy happens there. So what is your experience, how they respond when you want to convince them that you have to go and file the police complaint there? But, it used to be that, we have to work with these people, we have to live here. And we can go to the police station right now, police will come and go, but after a few weeks or few months, we have to live here. They were worried. Has the attitude changed there, or it is worsening, or what is the situation?
Nobody can stop using social media, because it is not only attraction, but it is very useful also, and it is up to you how you use it, So certainly, it is being used for cheating also. It is being used for perpetrating atrocities also. It is being used for harassment also. It is being used for advertisement also. It is being used for defaming others also. And so many laws are there, and even IPC also says so many things, and IPC also covers it. But every literate person must have training of social media, and only in a disciplined way we should share our posts and messages, and everybody knows what is good or what is bad. But even then, people interact, do not indulge in such activities, uh, because anything, especially for social media training, we tell the people that don't indulge in extremist political views, don't indulge in vulgar issues, don't indulge in caste issues, or don't try to speak the names of their books, or we are against inhuman traditions, we are against discrimination. We can talk academically also, but the people who are not literate very well, they are trapped. So certainly this is good and bad, but this is a necessary evil, or this is a necessary good. So we cannot boycott it. Certainly we have to adjust, and we have to learn lawfulness of the activities, and we should know how to compare the people, and how to indulge in such activities, and how to do away with such activities.
Yeah. So there is another question, Satya Narayana. So, what ways can we improve the quality of education system in the rural areas where majority of weaker section live? Government managed public schools are a disaster in this respect. I think, yeah, it's like question everybody asks, that everything is becoming private, and the only hope for our poor people is the government system, especially starting from the school. And their situation is pathetic, as we hear, from the feelings. So, what do you think? What are your suggestions?
Uh, what I think about the education in rural areas, see the difference between the education and education of urban areas and rural areas. Our leaders were very indifferent for English education and science education. Earlier, they wanted to become graduate without English and without science, and so many graduates are there without science and without English. And what we see today, that is of no use. Leaders should have struggled to for the study of English medium schools and science education in rural areas. That is more useful for rural area people, English and science. And nowadays we are spreading views for STEMil education, education of science, technology, engineering, mathematics, economics, English, and law. Because if we begin to study regional language, that is of no use in rural areas, because they are not going to get any employment. But if you go for STEMil education, certainly you will get some job. If you are law graduate, you do graduation with economics, or you are BTech student somewhere, if not abroad or not in IIT, but you will start something for your livelihood also. But regional languages, they have limitations. And now, especially the poor sections and weaker sections, or we can say for minorities also, English educations and science education is more necessary in rural areas, and their leaders should go that compulsory English education must be there, because for urban students that is available in coaching centers also. But all those primary schools which are run in rural areas, they must be transformed into English medium based education centers, because they have building. They can recruit new teachers also, because if the utilitarian education is not there, certainly the people who are commoners, or who come from rural background, they are being befooled. New education policy has given this liberty that regional language must be protected. But what it will do, new education policy, that regional language cannot give you livelihood. They cannot provide you jobs, jobs abroad or jobs in central government. Everywhere, in every training center of central government, wherever we go, we find that only English medium atmosphere is there. We cannot say anything in regional languages. So this befooling of rural area people must be stopped by the leaders also, and the people who come from rural background. At least they should go to their villages. Whenever we go to our villages, we through our cadre camps, we convince our students that if you can study mathematics and pass with 60%, so you can also pass with English medium, at least 34% you pass. So go for English medium based education.
Thank you, sir. So we are at 9 a.m. Pacific time, already 1
Someone
hour.
has asked for my number. Again,
Yeah.
I repeat.
I have posted it on the chat box, sir. So yeah, so the Dr. B P Ashok's number is in the chat box. You can note it down from there. So we are very close to end of the talk, except one. There is one more question there, and then I'll ask Anil Wagdaji to conclude and give thanks. So the first, that is not the question; it's a request. Naresh is asking that can we have a session with your daughter and son-in-law? I think that's a very wonderful idea and a good request. Hopefully, Dr. Ashokji will help us bringing your daughter and son-in-law together on a platform where we can have this kind of community conversation. And there is the last
I
question.
think
I think
someone is asking about my daughter and son-in-law. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I will tell them and I will request them that they should interact with you also, and I will give you their number also.
Yeah,
So
that would be really wonderful.
certainly they will join you and guide some people who are aspirants of civil services.
Yeah. And
Thank
there's
you,
another
Ashok.
question.
The reason I was asking this question because we see some of the class one officers like you, they are socially aware, but then their next generation is not kind of involved. So want to bring your family, kind of give that example, saying there are families who are whole families are dedicated for the payback to society. So thank you.
You are right, sir. But I also belong to second generation. My father is retired IG, and he was very social, and he trained me a lot. And my daughter and my son-in-law, they are third generation, and I have guided them to be very loyal and accessible to our people, because whatever we have got, it is only on the basis of our Ambedkar movement and Dr. Ambedkar's contribution, and we have to pay back our society, certainly. And they are doing well. They are guiding the people whenever they get opportunity.
Yeah.
No, thank you, sir, for sharing your generational. This was the wealth, I can say. So that's again inspiration for our communities. So.
Absolutely. So there's another last question, sir. Manish has asked, how easy for our people in atrocity cases to get justice these days when there is a Hindutva propaganda everywhere?
Certainly, a lot of hurdles are there. But even then, because the Constitution of India exists and the IPC, CRPC, everything is there, especially because of SC/ST Act, there is a lot of relief, because we got it restored in 2018. In 2018, we got it restored through especially a campaign. You must have seen that on 2nd April of 2018. And SC/ST Act is very clear about harassment, and every section of this act is very helpful. Despite being harassment on the basis of theocratic attitude or ethno-nationalist attitude of the people, SC/ST Act is very helpful for our people in rural areas, because if once a case is registered, certainly the accused will go to jail. And whenever one goes to jail, certainly a lot of relief appears there.
Thank you, sir. So you already this question was already asked that any community support for the minority communities for the neurodiverse issues. I think you yeah, that question was already read. If you have to say something about this one, basically it's kind of psychological brain disorder or depression kind of thing. There's something there because it seems like our community is going under this like tremendously because of so much Hindutva pressure.
No, Hindutva pressure there, but even then, people are working, and some people are in jobs. They are doing very well. And we have to still, Baba Sahib Dr. Ambedkar told that wherever we have to go, we will have to struggle. So this phase is of greater struggle. Certainly, with so many precautions, we can go ahead. We can move ahead. Pressure is there, but there is nothing that we are not going to collapse. We will rise again, because last generations, they suffered a lot, but we have got so many facilities, and we have got so many leaders also. Some leaders are cheats, but even then, a few of them are working good. A few of them are there. A ray of hope is there always, because we are in democracy. But it is upon us how much struggle we do.
Thank you, Dr. Ashok ji. It was really very useful, meaningful conversation, and we really salute your commitment. So much educated person, and on the post where it's difficult, even to access them, but you are working on the ground with the people. We all have to learn something from you. Really thankful, and I would like to invite Mr. Anil Wagde, spokesperson of AIC, who will be saying few words and conclude this talk. Thank you.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Anil.
Yeah, Jai Bhim, everyone. Thank you, Mr. B P Ashok, sir, for such an enlightening talk. The number of ways people can pay back to society, you have kind of tried to enumerate, and it is better, rather than me trying to summarize, for people to actually refer to the lecture, which is being recorded and will be shared. But nonetheless, since I need to kind of summarize it a little, here are a few things. The subcategorization that is the news of the day, which you were also referring as a kind of creamy layer exclusion for the scheduled caste. This is a very dangerous trend. A lot of people are speaking on the Twitter space and other spaces, wherein how this subcategorization will kind of make it difficult for us to take advantage of reservation. The roster will get very, very complex, and the reserved seats may not get filled. And the current state of hearings, the Supreme Court is appearing to be more tending towards allowing the subcategorization to happen. That's a space to watch out. The hearings have been concluded. Advocate Nitin Mishra made a strong argument that scheduled caste is a homogeneous group and there cannot be subcategorization like, say, OBCs. But that judgment is reserved, and we will hopefully will see, like we restored, like you referred, in April 2018, we had to restore SC/ST Atrocities Act despite Supreme Court's judgment on the other way. And then the Lok Sabha had to pass that law once again. Something similar may need to be done if the subcategorization is ruled in by the Supreme Court. So that's the space to watch out for. Of course, pay back to society, the doctors, the lawyers should kind of pay back to the society by their own means. Marriage success, especially the intercaste marriages, how do we kind of increase the counseling and making sure that the marriages succeed? Slightly different viewpoint. Marriages also, when the marriages break, it's also empowerment for the couple, for the women and for the men. If the marriage is impossible to sustain, it's good to separate, and that's also in some sense an empowerment for people. I do not So I'm not suggesting by any stretch of imagination that marriages should be broken. It is just it's a way of empowerment. Some of the screenings of ADHD, some of the neurodiverse diseases, autism, and so on that we talked about, and you also referred to getting early screening for some of these diseases done. That would certainly help people. Similarly, on the psychological diseases, there is a certain stigma that people attach for depression and otherwise. The medical science has progressed a lot, and people should take advantage of that. Follow Panchashil, you referred to Samrat Ashoka being your hero, idol. Um, uh, those are very important things. Save democracy, save constitution, save reservation are the very important and very relevant message. At the same time, remain peaceful. Have the peaceful revolution like by our icons like Buddha, Phule, Savitri Bai, Dr. Ambedkar, and Kanshiramji. It is really important to maintain that remain peaceful and have a peaceful resolution. Some of the on the education system, that was very interesting. Earlier, people were very proud of taking the education and sticking the education in their local languages. But like you rightly said, there is no need to take unnecessary pride in studying in your local languages. English is the way to go. You also talked about science, technology, engineering, and mathematics kind of education, which is important, which gives jobs, and of course the law and others. So as we refer to that as a STEM courses, those were the few points I wanted to kind of just highlight. And we will certainly be waiting for the book that you have written, Mr. B P Ashok, Kranti Shastra. We hope that it gets listed on Amazon, and we will be once again. I wanted this is not the idea is not to summarize, but just highlight few things. For details how to pay back to the society, please refer to the recording. There are innumerable number of cases that Dr. B P Ashok referred to. Thank you, Dr. B P Ashok, to make this space very valuable. Thank you very much. Jai Bhim.